think it's provincial for the Filipino to, if he's looking out into the, what's happening in the international scene, why should you call that provincial?
Provincial in a way, it's just because they don't it is always an American influence to, I mean, Western influence to dump their culture and art here, and we accept it so readily.
Do you think the Filipino at this stage in time still has a provincial mind?
Yes, yes. Even our critics and writers here are very provincial. They don't want any changes. When you speak of such kind of changes, if it doesn't come, hadn't have a chance or hadn't come out in art in America or real, I mean, they don't believe it is a change.
So you feel it's a kind of colonialization again?
I think so. And I feel that what we can do is to eradicate that, is to be conscious about ourselves, to our own honesty. Like, for example, I don't say that let's not read it. I mean, let's say let's do it and read it, absorb it. Now, and no matter what you create, conceptual, situational, you express yourself to it, then that's something else. You are moving within the plane, like, for example, an artist creating within the plane of expressionism. And yet it is his own expressionism. Then that's fine, that's valid, and that's beautiful. But the only thing is that once that expressionism, I think that's not something to reckon with.
In the Philippines, why is it that the public does not care much for sculpture?
Well, there are a lot of hindrance in sculpture. Maybe that's the reason why I feel the gap. Because hardly people really understand sculpture. Maybe that's the reason why, luckily, I was able to spread out environmental art. Because by creating environmental art, it will be more accessible for people and masses. You really rightly bring the artwork into their milieu, into their setting. And without even trying, they become accustomed to it. As a matter of fact, of course, historically, as you know, Sid, we have more deeper background in sculpture than painting. But maybe we take it as common as it is. And since sculpture doesn't have the facelift of color, it is not that kind of entertaining enough for a lot of people, not unless they are learned mind and learned eyes.
Why do you say that we have a deeper background in sculpture?
It's just because most of our anitos and long before we have more sculpture than painting.
Santos, right?
Santos, all of that. And we have more of stone carving before, utilizing it in a lot of ways, from utensils to functional art to benches. We have more carving in sculpture.
But the few people who buy sculpture in the country, I mean, they've bought a number of pieces from you. Why do they buy these things from you?
I really don't know. Maybe because they need changes. Some of them are enlightened enough. Some of them maybe triggered by something, or maybe by investment or whatever it is. And but one thing sure, maybe they find it a little bit more coveted, because I have made a lot of sculpture, but most of them are deep. So ordinary collectors really don't have that kind of cost. I didn't have. I was not able to produce a lot of small work. That's the reason why no gallery here do own or do have one or two of my work.
About this idea of scale, size.
Right.
Why do you prefer working on large scale pieces?
There is always a need, as I have said, for environmental sculpture, public sculpture. And once you create something sort of public, you have to be concerned on the given space and the environment. You have to anticipate what will be going on 5 to 10 years from that particular time. And of course, your backgrounds are houses, strong, the wires, and the sky. One just could not create a small sculpture to create a statement.
So you prefer to put your sculpture in the open air
I prefer it that way.
rather than in an interior enclosed space.
Well, there are always some benefit or goodness in the kind of it has its own better quality. I mean, small objects and putting it into the interior. But if we are talking of public, if it is a small, you better not put it on public.
I'm interested about your regarding your first environmental sculpture, which is the famous Pieta, no?
That's not the first.
What was the first?
I created Youth's Cry of Defiance, and it's now in Intramuros. It is made of scrap iron. I made it 1967. Pieta is 1969.
Now, the creation of your Pieta, what can you say regarding the experience of having done that? I mean, like the problems and the feeling of achievement of having done the Pieta. Would you say it is the most ambitious work you have done?
Oh no, definitely not, because that seems to be covered by the redemption itself is 57 feet high and occupying, that's 3 figures, no? 13 figures.
Can you give us a little background on the creation of the Pieta? I mean, it's a commission piece, right?
Yeah, it's a commission piece by Victor Puyat.
For the Loyola.
Loyola Memorial Park.
Yeah. What year is this?
1968.
Yeah.
Late 1968 and early 1969. My spiritual essence is still very strong. And when I came in, I was so engrossed with these social and political changes in the country. And I was always marching on the street.
You were politically active then?
I'm very, very politically active then. I was marching on the street, and then, Big Puyat called me up already. He said, do you have, I would like to have an art piece here, somewhere here. And like that. So I studied the environment. I went to the landscape architect, and I thought, I don't have any idea what to do. I mean, if it is possible, any kind of theme, but if it can be religious, I would call purposely, because this is a memorial park, the environment suggested that. So there is no question about the theme. It should be religious. After 2 weeks, that was a very fateful night. When I coming home here, I received a call from a friend, and he said, a friend of ours, can you help us? You're the one who had the car. There is a boy here that was shot. Not intentionally, but a straight shot happens. I mean, he fell, because there was demonstration. I just went home. I actually was hit here at the back. So he said, he gave me the address of the parents. It is somewhere here in Sagat, near Paco. And I said, okay, I'm going to fetch the mother. And he didn't tell me that the boy was dead. So I fetched the mother. I didn't tell the mother anything. He said, might as well, it's written there in his ID that this is the address and you're the mother. So the mother moved along with us, and then I saw a child there, a body that was covered by the jacket of all these other demonstrators. And then she came in and then looked at the child and couldn't believe it. It is his son. And then he embraced the boy, and then he looked back, and then he cursed all of us. Why did we? He cursed all of us because she thought that it was our fault. Why did we bring such kind of an innocent boy? He was barely 15 or 16 there at the march. Said so we calmed her and said that it's not our fault. We just couldn't explain what cause it is, because I don't think in that particular time she would understand or she would care. But you can see the expression in her face. Her face was disbelief. She don't even know why her son is there. And I look at her and she was embracing. And then, something struck in my mind. Pieta, human Pieta. In Mindiola itself. And, oh God, no. So then I become so conscious and intense. I become very conscious of the depiction of it. So I try to gather the spirit and the emotional momentum.
But that your work will be compared to the famous Michelangelo.
Yeah, it's precisely because I don't mind. At that time, I was not conscious. That's what I thought. Pieta would be the real hit. And I will make, signifying Virgin Mary as the motherland, and the fallen hero. Then I become conscious. I create a dozen of wild sketches. I said, if ever I'm going to create something like this, it will not be earthly again. And I would like to create something which is earthy, because what I have seen is a reality. The cries of I mean, the Pieta of Michelangelo is more spiritual, more of how can a woman carry such kind of dead weight body of Christ? It's impossible. So I have to make it. I put the legs of Virgin Mary this way. That would be normal. She rests here.
I
And
see.
so that's the reason why it is relatively intense, and she's carrying the burden. So I said, I have to omit, I have to surrender what the controversy of my artistical integrity here. I have to submit to be true to what I have seen, to be true to what I feel.
When you get commissions from corporations, do you do a lot of compromises with them?
No compromises. How can an artist compromise this kind of work?
What is that piece?
This is the spiral growth.
Where is it?
In Metrobank. This is
Buendia?
nearly 80 stories high. Huh? And you can imagine how, as a provincial and conservative people, especially banking, could commission me to create a modern art.
When you're given a commission, do you ask them for the theme or?
No, nothing. Just give me the space, and then I create it.
And then you show designs to them.
I show the design only for their own, for them to see what I'm going to do. They take it or leave it.
But in other words, they cannot tell you, can you make this higher?
No,
can you make this lower?
No. Because I only submitted one. I don't repeat it again. I got a lot of enemies because of that.
Okay, but you're reasonable, no, with your clients.
Well, I am reasonable to a point. Like, for example, I even like that Gomborsa. It's supposed to be mine. I won the design, but they want me to make a model. I rejected it.
What is this Gomborsa design?
Gomborsa, the one that they have taken out from.
Did you do that or separate?
No, Saprid. But I won that award. That was an invitational competition
From?
Saprid,
Yeah.
Abueva, Tolentino, me, and Kaido.
Kaido who?
Kaido, the sculptor. And then I won there are two that they said design and a model.
Okay.
It was written there in the rules. I don't want to make a model. I said, what's the use of a model?
So how do you know you won?
Well, Ding Roses told me it is written.
You won on the basis of what?
I won on the basis of a design. But they're going to award me the commission if I have a model, a mock model, and I don't want to make a model.
So the prize was given instead to...
The second prize, which is a print, because he have a design and a model. He's the second prize.
So what have you got against doing a model?
No, that is to show you your question, to answer your question, that I am a man na I don't have to let anybody approve it or to make a convincing model or something. I mean, in that kind of extreme, I normally don't allow myself to compromise.
So when you deal with clients, you don't show them mock-ups or
No, I
maquettes?
don't.
No?
I don't. Not unless it requires technological requirements. You know, there are some scale that you have to do, like, for example, things that I'm working in Hong Kong. We are going to make a fountain. So it has to be mocked up because of the line of current and the flow of water. You know, then it has to be shown. But otherwise, if it is aesthetics and artwork alone, then.
So most of your artworks are commissioned works.
Yeah, not really, mostly because I have a lot of because I showed every year, sometimes twice a year.
I see.
I made one man show every year. I always make.
This thing about the prohibitive expense of doing sculpture, like before, I mean, when your works were not being bought, how did you sort of buy materials and instruments slowly? Did anybody finance you?
No, I know nobody finance me. I work. I have to train my belly just to get equipments, and so I have to work accordingly. Work some other works, do some other jobs.
So you have here a kind of a workshop wherein you have people working for you.
Excuse me.
And you did not take up any formal schooling in sculpture, no?
Right.
Would you find that the one big drawback, among Filipino artists, in that sometimes their minds cease to grow?
Yes, I think so. Maybe because of the byproduct of social consequences, like we are actually brought up into a very, I should say, sheltered way, and that creates and that tarnishes
the willingness to fight for life. In a way, just like, for example, they lack the gusto to work, and the perseverance seems to be lesser unless there is some comforting and glamorous reward.
Would you have any idea about the current state of Philippine sculpture? Do you know whether it's growing, it's developing, or do you find it in a state of stagnant? Stagnant.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, I would rather say that the sculpture in the Philippines seems to be growing more than the painting. So, because you see, the growing, when we said growing, it doesn't necessarily, there are growing in numbers. Painters are growing in numbers for almost every day. There are a lot of painters nowadays. You can see a lot of sculpture, painting shows that the transition seems to be almost every day. I mean, you can see even mediocre shows of paintings and drawings, but you can hardly see a mediocre show of sculpture. And evidently, the development of the sculptural side in this country seems to be very strong. The only thing is that, of course, we are lesser in audience, but in breakthroughs, I think we have. Maybe as of now, Sid, you can move around and think of any breakthroughs in painting since 15 and 20 years ago. I couldn't point of anything else. But yet, in sculpture, we have already the public art, we have already the environmental art, we have introduced plexiglass.
So, what would you advise a young sculptor to do?
Well, the very first thing, especially in this kind of particular situation, and I think this is the way how they also train sculptor and craftsmen around the world.
Yeah.
They normally have the talented, interested young student, or even though they are not a student in the school, they become an apprentice to the artist or to the sculptor, and then within such kind of a span of experience, the artist or the craftsman itself issue a certain sort of a written diploma that this particular person, student, have already passed such kind of apprenticeship to his workshop, and then he become a capable craftsman, or he become already accomplished sculptor.
But you never underwent training as an apprentice.
Well, unfortunately, in my case, since that there isn't any existing in this country when I came in, I have to do it my own way.
At your stage of your development, do you think you would be in a position to accept an apprentice, somebody in whom you find some talent?
Well, I have a lot. As a matter of fact, some of them are already been capable they are a sculptor by themselves. But the only thing is that they hadn't come up to a certain sort of prominence, because maybe they are still grouping their way, because craftsmanship doesn't, when craftsmanship ends, mind should start. So when they reach a certain degree of expertise into doing into something, their mind have to work and they have to create. But unfortunately, that's the thing that one cannot train.
I see.